Yeah, everyone knows they have 15, so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Adam Weissler, guys. Peter, Mike. I'm sure I just missed that.
No, we already introduced ourselves. And
Keep it friendly.
yeah.
Michael, Adam Weissler.
And
Yeah.
still got yours on, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to just swap out the battery and I'm going to put it on
Alright, so
vampire clip instead of the tape, I think.
Okay. Whatever you
That
like.
video is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Oh, great.
Thanks.
Just sitting there with a smile on my face for 4 minutes.
Thanks a lot.
I'm kind of regretting the Hitler haircut, but other than that, it's a great video. And they were doing my hair, and I was like, I know you want me to look like a newsman, but I want to look like a good, cool newsman, not like, the guy in Ohio that does the afternoon roundup.
Right, right. But therein lies the humor, right?
Yeah.
You get the biggest laugh.
Yeah, I heard the song last night on your website. So
Oh, yeah? Cool, thank you.
I guess it's on the radio today, but I haven't turned on the radio.
K-Rock or something playing.
I hope.
Not K-Rock.
Wouldn't hold my breath.
You don't think so?
I don't know, call him up and request it, would you? Please.
They were
Lord knows
talking
I-
about you guys
Really?
last week, so and the album coming out, so I'm sure. But
Who knows?
yeah, like you said,
K-Rock's a very
music self among
important,
guys,
it's a very important station that kind of
you know,
turned away from us at a certain point, yeah. But maybe they'll love the song, I hope so.
I mean, you guys made it.
It's one of those things where, I heard it twice now and it's already stuck in my head.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah.
Who are you interviewing for, Adam?
For Extra, TV show Extra.
Extra.
Talked to all you guys at various silly press lines, but never
Yeah.
had the thrill of sitting down with all you.
Oh boy, it's a thrill, isn't it?
Yeah, boy.
We're cool? We're good?
Yep.
So talk about the new song first, since we're already talking about that. Just how good must it feel to know you guys can still put together something that's as good or better than anything you've ever done? You must be proud of the work at this point.
When we went into the studio to record two new songs to go on the best of, I thought this is going to be a piece of cake, three weeks in and out. We got in the studio and I realized these songs have to be as good as our best known material from the past 15 years. So it took significantly longer than 3 weeks, but I really love Bad Day. I'm very proud of the song.
Is there pressure? Do you guys get nervous still at this point in your career? Like this has got to be good and you rack yourself for days on end? Or?
Well, I think only just because we know we can be good, and we want to be everything we can be, and make every record as good as it can possibly be, and that's a challenge to us. It keeps us, pushing hard.
Mm-hmm. Do you know when you got the melody and something like this and it's coming through that, man, this is something great and this is going to rival it? Is there a certain moment that clicks for every song?
At different points in the process, we'll look at each other and go, yeah, this is good, this works. And, sometimes you'll think something's great, you'll think it's great, you think it's great, and then one day you listen to it and go, oh man, I don't know what I was thinking. That's what happens when you do things that are, I guess, creative is the word, I don't know. But there's a strong feeling that we've got a whole body of work that we're working on now, the two for the best of, and then the next record we're working on that has at least the appearance now of being as good as anything we've ever done. I feel really great about where we are.
Yeah.
I think the two new songs on the best of point towards where we're headed in terms of our songwriting right now. But it was but I completely lost my train of thought. Do you know what I wanted to say? This is off camera. When we talk about the next album, people get really confused about the best of. So we need to kind of scoot that off to the side a little bit.
I'll make sure to clarify it all too.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Make sure you guys sound perfect. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But speaking of all this new stuff you guys are doing, I remember at certain times before the last album you were talking about the dub sounds you wanted to do, and now with this album there's been little things get leaked. Oh, it's kind of primitive or howling.
Howling and wild or whatever I said.
Do you guys, is that all just kind of in fun, or do you actually see that kind of stuff coming into place, those terminology you use, or does it come into being something totally different when the day is done in terms of the sound?
I kind of feel like when we're talking about using a dub, like a dub technique in the studio, or using different instruments, or trying to expand our universe. It is our universe. We're R.E.M. We're never going to be Sigur Rós or Aphex Twin. We're never going to be certain types of music that each of us might really appreciate a lot and collect and listen to. But in our little universe of R.E.M., our limited abilities as musicians, as songwriters, we've always tried to push ourselves forward and to challenge ourselves with each record, with each song. Looking back, as Peter said, there are songs that you look at and you go, maybe I could have worked a little harder on that. There are other songs you don't even know where they came from, and they're like your favorite, my favorite songs from all of our records. A lot of those songs made it onto the best of.
Talk about looking back. I know this kind of all this project obviously forced you to look back a lot, probably over the last year. Is that a joyful thing for you guys? Do you enjoy looking back at these songs? What's the whole process been like over the year? Picking the songs, rehearsing them for the tour, all that kind of stuff.
I always tend to think when we finish doing an album or something that I remember the failures, the mixes that didn't come off, or the song that the bridge just wasn't good enough, or the real crummy guitar tone I got. So it's like looking at Frankenstein's monster. I can see the joins, I can see all the stitch marks. But we go back and listen to this stuff, and it sounds better than I remember it, which I'm quite happy about. It would be horrible if I could be embarrassed by the past. Even the things I remember not liking, I went back and thought, well, that's not bad actually. It's pretty good. So it wasn't as painful as I expected it to be. It was a pleasant experience.
What were some songs you maybe were rehearsing for the tour that just kind of like you weren't sure they were going to work, but man, this sounds great. We're going to play this every third night because it just rocks.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of Maps and Legends from Fables of the Reconstruction is something that really took on a new life when we started playing it again.
Yeah.
World Leader Pretend from Green sounds really good. Night Swimming, we just started playing that again, and it's a beautiful song.
Are you surprised, Michael, with some of the songs when you're singing again? Certain thoughts come back to you, certain times that you allow yourself to do that?
We have a lot better equipment now for hearing ourselves on stage when we perform. And some of the earlier songs, I have to take my ear monitors out because I can't hear myself singing it. I can't sing it right. It's almost some of the songs from our earlier albums. I feel like I'm covering a song by someone else. And that, for the three of us anyway, was several lifetimes ago. Mm-hmm. But it's been really fun to kind of go back through it and look at those songs and kind of reestablish some kind of some idea of what it was then and what it is now.
Mm-hmm. How much fun is this tour? How does it differ from the past tours? Because it's kind of a best of tour and you're doing stuff you haven't played. Is there a different vibe than, say, the pageantry tour, the work to you? Does it feel different to you guys?
I don't think it does feel any different. I think it's unusual that we have less new songs to play, but it still feels good. We're getting a great response, and we always have. And so as long as that continues, we're doing all right.
I was thinking it might feel even better to kind of celebrate the catalog, as it were. Is there a sense of that at all?
Well, the thing, maybe we're a little defensive about it, but the thing is, we've never, as a band, looked back. We've always looked forward. We've always worked really hard not to repeat ourselves or not to stagnate, but instead to kind of push forward and challenge ourselves with each record and with each song. And this is the first time, really, because of the best of, that we're kind of looking back and looking at these old songs and playing them, and people are really excited. I mean, the time that we had in Europe, we did a 6-week tour there, and it was phenomenal, and it was really fun for us.
Mm-hmm. How much of that are you able to look back because you know you have a new album coming out next year, and you know you're writing all these great new songs, and you guys have years and years ahead of you? Is it easier then to kind of temper it with the little bit of nostalgia, or do you not even think that way?
I think the fact that we are working on new material and feel real strong about what we're doing allows us to kind of do this tour where we're kind of doing older stuff. It would be depressing for me if we weren't even planning to make another record. We were just going to tour and play old songs for the rest of our lives. That's not what I want to do. I want to push the band forward. But in the process of doing that, we're kind of having a vacation this summer, and that's what this tour is. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's more of us just going out and playing and kind of reaffirming to each other and the audience that, hey, we're here, we're good at this.
Mm-hmm. And so many people are saying so many positive things about this tour in Europe and things I'm reading here. And R.E.M. has kind of reaffirmed its place as the greatest rock and roll band in America and the world. Are you guys kind of conscious of that? Do you care? Are you privy to that?
I have a T-shirt that says actually just that. No. I mean, we always want to be the best. You want to be the best band in the world every day, if it's at all possible. And of course, that's unachievable because it's a subjective thing. But it does keep us moving forward, and we're really playing our asses off. It sounds really good.
Yeah. You guys have always had, I think, had a great knack of being extremely humble, but always talking about with confidence how great you guys are in terms of any record you're doing and stuff like that. Is that something that's because you know that you're still at the top of your game with every record? Because you guys have said many times you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't, but...
These guys are both encyclopedic about music and about the people who make music and the pitfalls, the wrong turns that they made. And I think from the very beginning, we were really careful not to make those same mistakes. The biggest one, of course, would be to repeat ourselves or to allow ourselves to stagnate or to get lazy about what's really important about what we do. It's not important to be a media figure, to hang out in fancy hotels and travel the world and have great, interesting, famous friends. None of that means anything if the music isn't there. And I think we all know that, fundamentally. So we work really hard to make the music the most important thing, which is what it is for us.
Mm-hmm. How excited you guys are about the future at this point? Because I remember back around the Uptime, you were talking about your whole thing of trying to be fearless and pushing on. And those are difficult couple of years, and you've had a great album since then. Now the other album coming out. Are you at the point now where all bets are off? You guys can be around for eternity if things stay the way they are.
You never know. I mean, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, will R.E.M. be together, in the future for 10 years, I would have said, no way. Obviously not. I could look 3 or 4 years ahead and think, yeah, we can do this, we can do a record, we can do a tour, prepare for the next record. Maybe we'll be doing this at 60, it could all end. I think one of the things that we have is an appreciation that we should do it right now and enjoy it right now. Because you never know. I mean, you never know what could happen.
Are there moments you guys look back, when you allow yourself to look back, are there moments you look back at a certain tour or a certain year that kind of encapsulates a special moment? Do you guys allow yourself to kind of have, you guys are great friends, so I know, do you, like that time in Europe, man, that was R.E.M., or that day in Athens when we all sat around, or?
We're, as Peter said earlier, we're our own worst critics, and I look back and I just see the horrible mistakes that we made. And there are some. The thing that I'm really proud of is that from the very beginning we were incredibly stubborn about not taking advice from other people and forging our own path, and we did that. So the mistakes are our mistakes. We have no one to blame them on except ourselves. And there's a certain, this is a loaded word, but there's a certain freedom that comes with that, and a certain kind of fearlessness.
Mm-hmm. Is there still something you guys would love to accomplish as a band? Another different kind of album? Something that you guys still kind of talk about that, God, we'd love to do this, or do you feel confident that while you'll still be making great songs, there's still something you're trying to achieve?
I don't think we ever set goals, particular goals for ourselves.
Never, not once.
We wanted to do whatever it is we do very well, and we always knew the things we didn't want to do. We could see the bad decisions, and usually we avoided those. But setting specific goals, I think, can be very limiting, because if you're trying to create an album, it has a way of taking on its own life and becoming whatever it wants to become. And if you try to corral it into some preconceived notion, you're kind of limiting yourself.
Mm-hmm. There's something about R.E.M. you think people never got, even though you guys have always done many interviews and so much written about you guys. Is there something that you just wish, our fans really should know this about us, because this is the real R.E.M.?
Well, I'd say that Spinal Tap is definitely based on our career, because I've had more Spinal Tap moments. That's what we talk about when we talk about the past. We don't talk about our glorious successes, or we sell out a club, or whatever. It's always the worst show we ever had, the least attended show. When did you feel like the biggest idiot in the business?
The first time I wore sunglasses on stage because we were opening for a puppet show.
Yeah.
In this town.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of those. Again, we don't feel like we're particularly triumphant or anything like that. We just think we're bumblers who managed to do pretty well. And I mean, like I said, Spinal Tap lives with me every day and with us every day. And we'd laugh about ourselves in the past.
It's fun that people said humorous side, like with this new video, to be able to, you've done it before, but be able to laugh at you guys as well.
I don't know how many journalists I've told, and I don't think they want to put it in their articles, but I'm not a terribly articulate person, and I'm very insecure about that. So I work really hard to say exactly, I'm really focused, and so I always come across as really solemn and sincere, and the songs are kind of like that. I do think we're pretty funny people, and I'm not sure that comes across. Like right this second, I'm not feeling very funny. Okay, we'll stop.
But switching gears, along serious, now I want to make sure I get something to wrap me any second.
Sure.
In terms of the new lyrics and things like that, getting a little more politically themed and more topical, is that the direction you see things headed, or because of the state of the world, or is that could turn around next week and be something totally different?
You can't live in the U.S. right now without breathing politics. It's such a part of, and when it comes to writing lyrics, I don't set out to write a political song. I don't set out to write any kind of song at all. The best songs are the ones that I don't think about. Bad Day came flying out of me, and I didn't really have a choice. It happens to be very political.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, what about rock and roll do you guys still love? And if you can put into words what it is that just keeps you going.
I guess it's just passion. It inspires passion. It inspires energy and love and hate and affection and all of those things at one time. And when you present it live in front of people, it's just the give and take. It never goes away.
Very good. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Well,
Thanks a lot.
Great. That was good.
Let's go ahead and leave the mics on. I'll just want to show you what's on your row.
Okay.